Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, September 7. The Most Honorable Andrew Holness was today sworn in as Jamaica's Prime Minister for the second consecutive term. Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen presented Mr. Holness with the instrument of office in the swearing-in ceremony at King's House this afternoon. It's his third time assuming the position after serving from October 2011 to January 5, 2012, and again from March 3, 2016 to present. With the Prime Minister's reappointment today, all cabinet or ministerial posts became vacant. Mr. Holness has begun the process of establishing his new cabinet with this afternoon's appointment of a number of critical ministerial positions, including finance and health. Meanwhile, new measures to stem the spread of COVID-19 in the country is top priority for the new Andrew Holness-led administration. This comes as the Ministry of Health on Friday declared that Jamaica was officially experiencing community transmission of the novel coronavirus. The designation was based on the assessment of the technical team in the ministry and after consultation with the technical team at the Pan American Health Organization and World Health Organization. Community transmission means the inability to relate a large number of confirmed cases through chains of transmission and the increasing positive tests through sentinel samples, especially from persons going to health centers and hospitals.
We have 783 communities island-wide, and we have active cases in 311 of these communities, which is now just about 40% of communities are affected.
The health officials say this change in the phase of the pandemic means that over the next 6 to 8 weeks, the population may see a steep rise in the number of cases reported. As a result, this stage of the pandemic will require strengthening of the infection prevention and control measures to reduce the rate of spread within the population. In light of that, new restrictions are to be implemented, including tighter curfew hours, an increase in the stay-at-home orders for the elderly, re-emphasis on the work-from-home orders for the private and public sectors, and further tightening on restrictions of public gatherings. The Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, is again advising employers that their employees who served as Election Day workers do not need to self-quarantine before resuming duties. The EOJ says it has received reports of employers seeking to mandate this for their staff. But the electoral body says this is not necessary, as measures in line with WHO and PAHO standards were put in place to mitigate the risk of possible infection among electors and poll workers. EOJ says further checks with the Ministry of Health and the public health authorities confirmed that self-quarantine is not a requirement for Election Day workers. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security had previously clarified that there was no such requirement under the labor laws or any other law. In a statement, the ministry urged employers to be guided by the Holidays with Pay Act and Gazette notices that are published under the Disaster Risk Management Act. In other news, the island's major strawberry farmers are to benefit from an allocation of $5 million to assist them in the growth and development of the crop for the 2020-2021 season. The allocation will be made under the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries Production Incentive Program. The announcement was made by consultant agronomist in charge of protected agriculture at the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, Webster McPherson. He says $3 million will go towards providing crop nutrition, while the other $2 million is for pest and disease management assistance to the farmers. Strawberries, which require cooler temperatures, are found in areas of Jamaica that are in excess of 2,000 feet above sea level. These include Guys Hill in St. Catherine, Adams Valley in Manchester, Gordontown and Newcastle in St. Andrew, and sections of Trelawney and St. Mary. A total of 50,000 pounds of strawberries are being produced yearly, representing 10% of local consumption. Mr. McPherson says there is tremendous potential for import substitution, as local strawberries are now being embraced by purchasers because it tastes better and has a longer shelf life. The consultant agronomist says a revolving project was started last planting season where 23,500 plantlets valued at $3.5 million were given to farmers who are expected to return twice the amount of plantlets. And finally, the Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA, says it is at an advanced stage of finalizing a policy for a cultivator's transitional special permit. Acting Senior Legal Officer at the CLA, Sheldon Reed, says the authority is aiming to make the special permit at least 50% lower than the cost of obtaining a Tier 1 cultivator's license, which is $1,000. The special permit will help small farmers or subsistence farmers who find it challenging to enter the industry at the licensed stage.
We want to give you this permit for you to cultivate your cannabis where you are with some basic, amendments to what you have. And for 2 years, whatever you sell in our industry, because you're selling it back to us in our closed loop system, for the 2 years, we want you to use that time to develop your facility to the standard that is needed at the licensing regime. So after the 2 years, you can apply for a license.
Since June this year, the authority has engaged more than 300 persons across the island in consultation sessions with special interest groups to further inform the policy.
To see if we can ascertain how it is that we can better incorporate the broader cross-section of the country, and more specifically of this cannabis industry, into this medical cannabis industry. We understand that a certain aspect of the grassroots do find challenges entering the industry, and a lot of those challenges are linked to finances, among other things. And so what we've done in contemplating this transitional permit is to meet the grassroots, meet the traditional grower, meet anybody who's never even grown before but is now interested where they are.
The CLA's acting senior legal officer was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. He said the basic requirements to access the special permit when it is completed, including having access to legitimate land with at least 5 feet of fencing. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.